the entry level position is kind of a grind too, because it's like, it's your job to make those relationships, to pass over these qualified leads over to your account executive. I'm not going to say being an AE is easy, because it's not, but at least, you know, the initial conversation's already there. You know, the BDR or the SDR already did that work for you. Now you're in a meeting and it's like, we caught their interest for you, you know? So now all you got to do is talk about pricing, kill it on the demo, and get them to pay and move to the next steps. So it's like, I tell people that all the time, like, yeah, it could be easy getting into tech sales, but it's what you're going to do to stay there. Right?
100%. And I think that to me is where I think we got to be a little bit more real on. Like there's a lot of work when it comes to sustaining a role in tech.
100%.
Tech is always evolving, not just from the engineering side, from a sales standpoint as well. Like there's different sort of like capabilities, modules, and things like that. If you're selling it, you got to know what the heck you're talking about.
You have to. I tell people that all the time. They be like, what's the most important thing? Product knowledge. Get the product knowledge down the first 30, 60, 90 days. Seriously.
Yeah, you literally can lose, because I've been on the opposite end where I've had sales engineers and sales rep trying to sell me and my team like stuff. I'm like, but you don't even understand like the nuances of like how your product works. Ain't no way I'm about that. You know? At all.
And then also this too, it comes with a certain level of skill. People go into sometimes like, because I've been on the opposite end of it too, where people try to sell me things. You don't even know if I need it. They're not asking questions. Like you have to be able to ask open-ended questions, find pain points. Even like, it's one thing, it's like, you know, maybe you know that they clicked on our website or something, or they showed a little bit of interest, but it's like, you have to make sure that it's even a need there. And that, again, that all comes to research. So it is a grind.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Hey, what's up, fam? This is Sahr Lebbie, host of Apples in Tech, where we're building bridges and shaping futures in tech. On our podcast today, we got Mrs. Taylar Smith.
Hello.
Taylar and I are connected through Jared. Shout out to Jay. And she was in town this weekend and was like, hey, I'm going to do the pod. So here she is. Welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for fitting me in. I know so many people want to be in this hot seat that I'm in right now. So I feel very grateful.
Say it again.
So many people want to be in this seat right now. I feel grateful.
Awesome. So what we usually do is just ask guests to tell us a bit about themselves. Nothing technical, just a bit about who you are.
Oh, hello, everybody. I am Taylar, born and raised in Davenport, Iowa. And I know the first thing you're going to think of is they have Black people in Iowa. And yes, they do. I've been in Atlanta for like the last 8 years. Outside of this tech stuff that I have going on, I love to travel. We were just speaking about like where we've been and like plans that we have going on. You know, I like to get money. I like to
keep it real.
I like to just have a really good time with my friends and family, things like that. But that's kind of like a little bit about me.
Okay. Siblings?
No siblings. Why would I even lie like that? I do have a sister. Why would I lie like that? I have an older sister. Her name is Tiara. We're 8 years apart. Her birthday's actually next week. So I'll be in Iowa.
Happy birthday in advance.
Happy birthday to my sis.
Awesome. So you said Davenport, Iowa?
Yeah, the Quad Cities.
Okay. What's in Davenport?
Nothing. Nothing. No shade, but it's like, you know, when you come to a big city and then you're from the Midwest, like a small city, it's just like night and day.
Gotcha.
So,
okay. You grew up throughout?
Yeah. Went to school, University of Iowa. I'm literally from Iowa.
Ah, gotcha. How'd you like it?
I loved it. I felt like pieces of me still is like rooted in me. And I'm happy that I came from like a smaller city. Because I think sometimes when you get into a big city, you can get lost in this facade that's going on. So I like that I'm still grounded in my Iowa roots.
Awesome. Is it more like rural or is it?
Yeah. Like, more rural.
Okay. Gotcha. In terms of, I guess, your experience going there, because you said it wasn't a lot of Black people there?
It's not a lot of Black people there.
What was that like?
It was normal then because that was my normal. So it wasn't anything different. But I guess now that I've been on both sides of the spectrum, I prefer Atlanta.
Do you go back often?
No, not as much as I'd like to. And you know, it's sad because I have a niece and she's growing. She's 14 now. So it's like I like to be more present in her life. So yeah, I don't go as much, but I plan on going more this year.
Oh, that's awesome. Are your folks still back there?
My dad's still back there. My mom, she's in Alabama.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. What's I guess the first experience you had like big city wise? Was it Atlanta or was it a different city?
When I first came to Atlanta, that was like the first major city. I have family that lives in Atlanta too, you know. I just remember seeing like downtown and skyscrapers. I'm not used to seeing that when I first came from Iowa. I mean, we have buildings and things, but skyscrapers, that was like my big, I was like, wow. And then like my biggest thing was seeing so many Black people doing so well. And not to say that Black people in Iowa don't, but it's like at the level that they're doing it too,
100%.
you know? So that was what my main inspiration was. But the reason that I came to Atlanta from Iowa was because after I graduated, I landed an internship with CNN. So I went to school to be a news reporter, right? Right after I graduated in December, I landed my internship with CNN. And then right after that, I moved to Atlanta maybe a month after I graduated.
Gotcha. Was that always what you wanted to be, like a reporter?
Initially, and then I was just, you know, I wasn't really making much money. I was like, and you know, obviously you don't start off as an on camera, you know, out of college at CNN. So it's like, even when I was applying for like the local stations and things like that, I was like, I cannot live how I want to live out here in Atlanta. Making $15 an hour. It's just not going to work, 100%. You know? So. And
I don't want to date you, but what year was this?
When did I graduate? I graduated in 2017. No, I lied. I graduated in 2016. I moved out here 2017.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Every
time anyone says that, I'm an old head. So that's why.
He said, I don't know.
Yeah, I graduated in 2009. So yeah. Okay, cool. And then, so you always wanted to be a reporter. Is there a reason why?
I think my biggest skill was always communication. So I had this dream of just working for CNN, being it. And I feel like, unlike a lot of people, you know, when they first graduate, they're hunting and looking for jobs. I was blessed enough to land my first like big girl job at a huge corporation, you know. But I also feel like there's so much power in like redirection, because I thought that was going to be like my ending point and what I was going to be doing long term. And here I am in tech. So initially, that's what I wanted, but you know how God works. You never end up where you think you're gonna end up. So
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm asking this also because like generally like the first kinds of roles you served as generally play out in different ways. Like you can use those skill sets.
Exactly.
And I listened to your interview with Cyrus. I was like, yeah, I could definitely see where the skills she learned early on transition. So let's talk a bit about, I guess, like transitioning to Atlanta. What's the pros and cons like of that? Because you come here, you see a lot of Black success, but you're not necessarily used to like seeing a lot of us.
Right. Exactly.
And then a lot of us, you know, doing well, but then also like navigating like the big city. What was that like for you?
So the pros of, you know, moving to Atlanta was, like I said, seeing a lot of Black people doing their thing. There's more to do out here, you know, and then the food, it's like more choices and things like that. I would say the cons is as much as you see a lot of like Black and brown people doing well. You can get caught up in a facade out here, you know, 100%. Like not everything is what it looks like. Right. So I think that, again, how we talked about being grounded and staying rooted in where you're from and what you have going on before moving to a major city is important. Right. So I would say that's some of the cons. And then also I feel like another con could be, I really don't have too many cons about Atlanta, honestly. You know, I know some people are like, oh, I can't stand the traffic. The traffic, that's a con. But other than that, I really don't have anything negative to say about the city itself. I think as much as I'm from Iowa, like Atlanta raised me. Like I grew up here. You know, I came here when I was 21 years old. And here I am 10 years later. And I think that, I mean, it played a huge role in my life.
No, that's refreshing. I think a lot of people do give Atlanta sort of like a bad rep.
They do.
But there's a lot of opportunities here.
There's so many opportunities.
And you got to be able to leverage, you know, sort of like your relationships and building that 100%. And be intentional about that. So, All right, cool. So you get to CNN, you're making like $400,000 a year.
Yeah, right. I wish.
I guess when the reality set, like, hey, this isn't like
early. It's that early. My internship was only 6 months. It was a 6 months internship. And probably 3 months in, I was like, yeah, this isn't going to work. I'm telling you, I didn't have nothing when I came here. I was living in Lawrenceville, sleeping on my cousin's couch.
Dang, Lawrenceville?
Yes.
Why Lawrenceville?
Say what?
Why Lawrenceville?
I don't know nobody out here. My cousin was the only person that I knew.
Gotcha.
And I was determined to get here to Atlanta from Iowa. So I was literally, I came out here with no car, probably like a couple $100 in a dream.
Yeah.
And I was staying in Lawrenceville, sleeping on my cousin's 1-bedroom on her couch, right? Taking the Gwinnett County Transit to the Metro downtown.
That's what I'm saying.
And then the Metro to the CNN building.
Jeez.
And back.
That's a commute.
So I was doing that for 6 months, and I was like,
wow.
"Oh, now I got to get my money." I was like, "I cannot live this life no more. I got to figure it out."
Gotcha. Damn, that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the internship was 15. Was there like a transition rate they were gonna give you if you converted?
I mean, yeah, but even then, it still wasn't. Maybe like $20, $25.
Gotcha.
You know, it just wasn't enough.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then, how'd you like learn about like doing something different? Oh, well, I know you said I've already watched her interview. She started doing Enterprise, right? Right after that.
Yes, I hated Enterprise. No shade to Enterprise because again, you know, I know we'll talk about transferable skills. It taught me. I learned something everywhere I go, but Enterprise is the real grind. Like I was working from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and working like 7 a.m. to noon every other Saturday.
What was your role at Enterprise?
A management trainee. A management trainee, a little MT.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So what skills did you learn at Enterprise that you felt were transferable?
Well, I was already good at communication, but just dealing with different people, you have to think like some people are coming out of a car wreck. Some people, you know, need a car. They don't have, you know, a credit card to put the $250 security deposit down. Some people are just having a bad day, right? So it's like I learned relationships early. Another thing that I learned was having to hit KPIs. So that's something that people might not know about Enterprise. We still have numbers to hit as far as like how much, you know, if you've been to Enterprise, they ask you like, do you want some insurance? No, you already have insurance, try to get additional insurance on the car. So upselling people, I learned that skill as well. Right. So I think there was a certain level of transferable skills that I took from Enterprise that I was able to take over to what I'm doing now.
That's awesome. And how long were you at Enterprise for?
2 long years. Oh, I was there for 2 long years.
Did you, so management trainee, did you transfer to like management? How long is that program?
So the management trainee, I believe, and don't quote me on this, I believe it's like you can get promoted within like a year and a half, something like that. But I had other dreams. So yeah, I quit. That was the first job I ever quit. Like early, I clocked in at 7 a.m. I think I quit at 7:10. I quit early, which is a bad day. And I was like, I just know there's something bigger for me.
Yeah. Which, I guess, location were you at? Because you were still in Lawrenceville, I'm assuming, right?
No. I was in Dunwoody. I was in the Dunwoody location.
Gotcha. Okay.
So by that time, I had found a roommate, right?
Okay, gotcha.
So I had found a roommate. We were living in Sandy Springs.
Okay.
And then I was working at that Dunwoody location.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. But those don't understand the geography of Georgia a bit. So Atlanta is like about 40, maybe 45 minutes south of Lawrenceville. And depending on like where you're at. So that's why I was asking about like distance and all that, because like having to commute via, you said was the Metro?
I was taking the MARTA. That's what it is, the MARTA.
Yeah, MARTA. Yeah, no, that's real. Yeah, so that's real.
It was a real grind, for real.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So then you were doing Enterprise, and then what was next after Enterprise?
Entrepreneurship, where I wasn't making any money from it. But that's where Taylar Leigh TV came from. So that's still my Instagram handle, but that's where it originated from.
Gotcha.
So I took back my communication skills that I learned in CNN and in college and everything. And I was like, I'm going to do my own thing. Right.
Yep.
I had a freelance media company called Taylar Leigh TV, TLTV.
Okay.
I was interviewing celebrities, actresses, rappers, entertainers, all of that.
Yep.
Going to some of the coolest events. I was getting like a lot of traction on social media and all that, but I wasn't making any money. I enjoyed it. I had a good time, and I had a dream. And I honestly do feel like had I stayed consistent doing it, it would have took off.
Gotcha.
100% would have took off. But again, it was just like, living in the city, it's like you have to figure things out. Now, while I was doing TLTV, I was doing a lot of odd jobs too. I was being a waitress at Tony's. What else did I do? I think I worked at E-Trade for a little bit. I didn't pass my Series 7, so they had to let me go because that's a part of it.
Yeah.
I did a lot of different little things while I was doing that. But I navigated into my own entrepreneurship where I didn't make any money, but I made a lot of good connections.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah. Entrepreneurship, definitely, I think, it definitely gets you in a different mindset.
Absolutely.
Like, of course, running your own business and then having to kind of get up day in, day out.
Yeah.
And that definitely transfers to sales. So
absolutely. So I guess we're going to talk about how I got there now.
Yep.
My dad, he's always been in sales all my life. He does pharmaceutical sales,
Gotcha.
right? So growing up, I always saw him doing a lot of traveling. He used to travel like every other week. I think when I was younger, he was like a field sales rep at the time. And he had like a territory somewhere. I just know he went to Peoria a lot.
Gotcha.
Peoria, Illinois.
Okay.
But I'm venting to him like, oh, I'm hated. I need some money. Can you cash out me $20? And he was like, Taylar, I really think that you should get into sales, right? Mm-hmm. So he was the first person that put the idea in my head that maybe I should get into sales. Now, timeline, this was in 2020. This is when the world shut down, 2020. I applied. My first tech role was at Autodesk. We were supposed to go to San Francisco, I believe, or San Diego to have our training, but then COVID happened. So that was really my first remote tech position. I was loving it. I was like, oh, this is great, you know? I stayed with that company for a couple of years, and then I navigated over to IBM and then where I am now. So,
gotcha.
My dad, he really instilled that in me.
That's awesome. What were you doing at Autodesk specifically?
I was a sales rep, just a SDR.
Okay.
It was inbound sales. I was an SDR at Autodesk.
Mm-hmm. What do salespeople do in general for someone who's watching? It's like, oh yeah, what the heck is a sales engineer?
So
a sales rep.
A sales rep is usually like the liaison between the client and the company.
Okay.
Right? Or I take that back. They're usually like a liaison between the company and that you work for and the client. So I guess I said that right. However, your main job is to send over qualified leads over to an account executive. And this was something that I was going to talk about anyway, but what is a qualified lead? It's any lead that meets the BANT standard. And I'm about to go into like a whole entire trajectory of going down this, but it's any lead that meets the BANT standard. So the BANT, budget, authority, need, timeline. There has to be some type of pain that the client has, right? Before you're able to qualify a lead and send it over to an account executive.
Gotcha.
The account executive then gives them a demo. They close out this lead. They talk about pricing and all those other things too. And then, it just kind of goes down the funnel from there.
Gotcha.
The main objective for a sales rep or SDR, BDR is to pass over qualified leads to an account executive.
Gotcha. When you first got in that role, was it like intimidating, or were you like, this is something I can transition into?
It was hard. It was hard because I'm having to learn a different language. I never had to talk to. So with Autodesk, I was speaking to, it was like a construction type sales, right? So I was speaking to a lot of project engineers, project managers, things like that. Now, I will say that the conversations with them versus the conversations I had with people over at IBM, and where I am now, it was a lot lighter because they're in the field, they're friendlier in my opinion. But it was like I was still selling a software. And what we were selling was a software called PlanGrid, which is a mobile blueprint. So a lot of times, when people are in construction, they're writing out blueprints. We call it on paper. They're doing everything on paper. And it's like, that was kind of like the old school way of doing things. So we're trying to move them into a software, which was PlanGrid. So initially, when I first started, it was very hard. It was challenging because I'm having to not only learn, how project and engineers and project managers operate, but still learning tools. I didn't know anything about Salesforce or Outreach or all of these different tools. So I'm learning a lot of information quickly. So no,
that's awesome. Just quick thing on that. I actually in college undergrad, I was working at a CAD desk where for those who don't know, it's basically like translating like things that are on paper to digital print. So that's what I did. So it's, I don't think we used the Autodesk software that you guys use. What would you call it?
PlanGrid.
PlanGrid. I don't think we used PlanGrid, but it was something similar. We were just trying to digitalize like sort of like architectures and blueprints and things like that.
So it was like AutoCAD.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. All right. So did you have to learn like things about construction and things like that?
I did.
Okay.
Just things that I didn't know. Blindly, when you think of construction, you think that they're working with tools and just fixing things or building things, right? But understanding that they have pain points, they have, people that are in the field versus people that are behind the scenes, and how everybody kind of needs to work together, right? And I think some of the biggest needs in the construction space is that visibility, right?
100%.
So that's kind of what Plan Grid was. You were able to work within real time. You were able to make edits off this software so that everybody is on the same page.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And then when it comes to like, you know, being a Black woman transitioning into a role that you didn't really know much about, how was that, your experience at Autodesk?
You know what? My experience over at Autodesk, I would be lying if I said that it was like a difficult transition, because I had a couple of Black women on my team. That's awesome. You know, so it's like I didn't really feel too intimidated when I first started working with them, and I do feel like the team that I was working with, they were just so inclusive, you know? So I personally, and I know that this is an issue for some people, but I didn't have that. Yeah,
no, I love that. I think it's good to actually talk about that, because we always shine light on like, you know, the negatives and stuff like that. But companies that are doing that right and helping to, you know, diversify their employees, I think that's really dope. So it's good that you had that experience.
Thank you.
Okay, so how long were you at Autodesk for?
Ooh, for almost 2 years, maybe a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk pay wise. All right, so you're making you went from $400,000 to now you're making what?
Yeah, 400. I think I started with a base salary over at Autodesk with like maybe 50K base salary.
Gotcha.
And then I think I had an OTE of like 9 to
What's
5.
OTE for someone that doesn't?
On target earnings. So basically, as long as you're doing your job and hitting your targets, which is to get your quota, that's what you're able to make gross per year.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. What'd you start spending on?
You said, what did I start spending my money on? Hair, nails, just basic stuff. But honestly, it was like I was doing so much before that, just trying to maintain my little bills that I had. It felt like a piece of freedom. I'm like, gosh, I can take care of my rent. I can take care of my car note without feeling tied down, you know? So I felt good about my 50K that I was making.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's good. And then in terms of like making that decision to possibly transition from Autodesk, like what was that, you know, what was your thought process during that time?
I just don't believe anybody that gets a call from IBM would turn it down. So I was like, I'm leaving. You know, I'm going to do what's best for me. So I left. And you know, I know there's like sometimes there can be like a negative connotation that comes with that, you know, oh, people job hop and all of that. But I think in tech, that's kind of normal. You know, after you're with a company for maybe 2-3 years, like it's normal to job hop. I job hopped I think like 7-10 times. It's like I don't want to say too much on this podcast, but it's like
no, I'm out. If the money was right, I'm out. Now, you know, I'm more seasoned and I kind of like run my own stuff. It's a lot easier, but I think early on, like you learning different technologies, that's the best way to grow. I'll say this up front.
100%. Yeah, because now it's like you kind of have a little, you know, experience now. And I tell people that all the time. It's like, don't shy away, especially if you're just now getting into the tech industry. Don't shy away from these startup companies. Don't shy away from these companies that have like a big name and corporation and things like that. Because what you're really needing right now is the experience to have on your resume. And then you can go to these big corporations. And to add to that, when it comes to like remote, I think if you're new getting in the field, stop talking about remote. Like go on site. I'm telling you. And honestly, I don't get me wrong. I love working remote. I really do. But I would be lying if I said that I'm not more productive sometimes in the office, especially starting off, especially being new in the tech industry. You want to be able to touch hands with the manager and be like, hey, I need help with this. Or you want to be able to, you know, lean on your teammates, not just in a virtual space all the time, right? 100%. So I do recommend, you know, I've worked on site, I've worked hybrid, I've worked remote. So get in the field.
No, I'm 100% with you on that. I think I learned the most, and I'm more hands-on with engineering, but I learned the most on site because I got to ask the SMEs at the time questions that, you know, they can answer, you know, live, and then I can ask like deeper questions and then dive in that way versus remote. Like right now, I'm actually more of the SME now, but I may give somebody maybe like 10 minutes, 15 minutes because I got other things to do.
Right.
But on site, it's like, hey, you know, I can knock out like all my questions in, you know,
100%.
One role. So for those who are considering that, definitely take the on-site role if you have the opportunity. So just want
especially when you're first starting off, you 100%. Know, just take the job, get the experience. and build those relationships. It's easier to build a relationship in person than it is virtually.
Speaking of like taking the job, like, did you have any other offers outside of Autodesk? Like
I had a whole bunch of offers.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even going to say that because like, I know there was like 2 offers and that's the thing. And I try to teach people that all the time. I think the biggest reason why some people are not getting into the tech sales space and the entry level roles is because a lot of people don't know how to interview, you know? And I think that that's something that can't just, you have to be taught. It's a skill, it's a skill. And for me, again, communication was always my strong point. So I would lean on that. They'd be like, hey, do you know how to work Salesforce? Are you familiar with this? And I was so good with my words. I'd be like, no, but I could be a sponge the first, 90 days and I'm going to take up all information, things like that.
Right.
I remember when I had an interview and I spoke on this when I was on Sahr's podcast. This was with IBM and my manager at the time, she had asked me because she was one of the people that interviewed me. Yeah. She asked me, she was like, have you always made quota? And I said, no. I was like, there's been times I haven't made quota. And she literally said, well, why should we hire you if, there's going to be a possibility that you don't hit your numbers? Yeah. And I straight up told her, I was like, look, I am a hard worker. I said, I'm going to take the time to learn this software. But I was like, if you give me the chance, I'm going to like show up. Right. So I think that a lot of times when you're going into interviews, you have to have that sense of confidence, and then be able to back up your words too. Yeah. Right. So I think that she respected that because I don't think anybody that's in sales honestly can say I've hit every single time, because it's hard. Yeah. And I think that's another thing that people don't talk about is a lot too. Everybody wants to be in the tech space, but people don't realize the job is not that easy. Right.
100%. And I think you also gave a real answer, not a sales answer.
Exactly.
Like I'm gonna always hit the numbers. Like
that's just not realistic. That's not realistic.
Come on, fam.
And then it sometimes it might not even be you. It could be the economy.
Exactly.
People don't have money all the time.
Yep.
So it's like sometimes after Christmas season, Q4 can get shaky.
Yep. Yeah.
So
yeah. No, I'm 100% with you on there. And then also from a general engineering standpoint as well. Like there's sometimes where you don't know the answer to certain things. Mm-hmm. Don't fluff it. Just say I don't know.
Exactly. People respect that more. People respect that more because imagine if I would have went into this interview and I said, "Oh, I always hit my numbers. I'm this and that," and then when they actually hire me and they see that I'm performing terribly, they're going to look at me and my manager terribly too. Yep. She took a chance on me and I disappointed her because I lied. Yeah.
100%. The other thing that, even though since we're on Africans in Tech podcast, this is again. It's a stereotypical thing. It's not 100%, but this is a thing that I've seen affect us as Black and brown people, where you have a person that they hire maybe as a token, I'm not sure, but when they get hired, they end up not meeting the numbers or not being able to do the work. Mm-hmm. So now it makes it a lot harder for people that look like us to be able to get into those roles.
Especially as a Black woman. So you know what? I will take that back. Yeah. There is some adversity that you'll face as a Black woman because tech is a white male dominated field. Yep. Let's be real, and I tell people all the time, especially, with my mentees that I have, I've literally worked a position where we're doing the same thing. Yeah. And the guy next to me was making $10,000 to $15,000 more than me simply because he asked, Yep. And maybe because of, what he looked like too, right? Yep. However, I wouldn't know, but it's like I try to instill the fact that we have to start asking and not be afraid to hear no, because it's like you just never know. Yep. And being able to have those weird or difficult conversations after, you received the offer letter, do it. Yeah. See where it goes.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, we talked about this on the podcast before a few times where it's not only like in terms of asking, do your research when it comes to like what you should be getting paid. Like
because
the
they
numbers
have ranges.
Are there. Exactly.
They have ranges. I tell people that all the time. People shy away from a position where it'll say, oh, the base salary is $50K. And I'm just like, don't look at that right now. Try to get the job, allow them to give you an offer, and then you put the ball back in their court. It's like, hey, give me a day to like think about this. Right. And then it's like you've already allowed them to like you. They went through the interview process. Yep. Now it's like you're in a position to ask for $15,000 more, $10,000 or whatever.
100%.
So
100%. Yeah. I've been through so many interviews early on in my career where I took honestly up to like $60,000 less because I didn't know any better.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know any better at the time. But then probably after like year 3 or 4, I started seeing like what the going rate was just through research, like literally like Glassdoor. There's a few other sites out there that you can research, and then asking my coworkers as well, like, you know, what's the hourly rate that they're billing for XYZ roles. By asking those questions, I kind of saw like, oh, I'm definitely getting underpaid.
Yeah, 100%. So, it's always a range. Yeah, it's always a range.
Yeah. Okay, let's get back to you.
Okay, yeah, that was good though, because it's like it's so crazy how we've all experienced this.
Yep.
We've all experienced that, and that's an issue. That's a problem.
Yep.
You know?
But the other part about that is, and I'm glad we're talking about it now, is like there's not a lot of people that actually talk about that.
People like, are afraid to talk about money. I think we need to start having more conversations where we talk about money. Yeah.
That's why I love. I don't know if you follow EYL.
Of course, those are my boys. Shout out to them. Yeah, shout out to Rashad and Troy.
Yeah, I love what they were talking about. I actually did a story. I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday about like working corporate versus being an entrepreneur. And I'm more in the space of entrepreneur now, but I don't fault anyone that works corporate because you can still be a millionaire, which is what they were talking about. Like you can still get to the bag as a corporate employee.
100%.
Like getting stocks. Like I think they were talking about a person that took stock options with NVIDIA. At the time, they were selling for like, I don't know, it was like $25 or whatever it is. And now look at what NVIDIA is worth. They made over $50 million. That's not a one-off. That happens a lot.
That's what I try to tell people, especially with these startup companies. I was like, imagine if you start with a startup company and then they start going like public or something.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity to work at a few different companies. I can't put the names out there because they're still working to be IPO, but they... if they transition, I think my initial offer was like $10,000, like 10,000 stock units, RSUs. So imagine if that's one selling for like $27 or $30. You multiply that times 10,000, and let's say you keep that, you don't sell it, and they get up to a point where they're $100, $200 an hour. That happens a lot in the tech space.
Yes.
You just have to find the right company and then believe in what they're selling or their service is, and then just work hard. You know, so. Anyway, just want to put it out there as well.
I try to tell people this all the time. It's just good to hear it.
Yeah. Okay, so IBM, how'd you even like come upon IBM? Did you apply or?
They found me on LinkedIn, and I'm so happy we're talking about this. Like a lot of the times I receive job offers from LinkedIn. And I try to tell people, you know, it's good to have that visibility. It's good to show activity on LinkedIn because people find you on that. So yeah, somebody reached out to me on LinkedIn. I was super excited. We set up that first initial call. I believe it was like a 3-4 interview process. And then, yeah, I'm not going to lie. It was honestly a quick process. I feel like, let's say I started on the 1st. I think I was hired by the end of the month. So it was like, it was pretty quick. We were having interviews like weekly.
Okay. Was it a full-time role or was it a contract?
No, it was full-time.
Okay. Nice. Are you allowed to talk about like the options and all that other stuff you got there?
I'm gonna shy away from that.
No worries. Okay. No worries.
Because I don't want to say anything wrong.
No worries. The reason I asked that, and I'll talk about my numbers because you guys have probably already seen it. When you work with different large, you know, Fortune 500, Fortune 100 type companies or FANG orgs in general, like you'll get RSUs, and those RSUs can be whatever the values of the company at the time. Take those things seriously, and especially like your vesting cycles. It's literally money you can walk away with. Generally, you can't really negotiate RSUs because they're kind of like set standard based on like what your billet is. So if you come in like engineering 4, engineering 3, whatever it is, like there's a set number that you'll get. But once you get those RSUs, like those things are golden. You know, and take that long term. And that all goes into like your TC, your total compensation. So, you know, you get for sales. I don't know if you guys had like, I know you have your OTs, but I don't know if you had like bonuses on top of that.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of bonuses they do. Yeah, for sure.
So like as an engineer, you also get those things as well. And that's like, if you do that, let's say within 4 or 5 years, you can make possibly like close to $1 million as engineering 3, engineering 4, easily. Yeah. But I think a lot of folks don't think about those things. They think about just working, you know, a general 9 to 5, which isn't bad. And just making those monies. But there's a lot of value in working, not just as startups, but companies that offer stock units as well.
So let's talk about that for a second, because you had said something about, you know, entrepreneurship, 9 to 5s, and how people, I think that might be a con in a major city like
Yeah.
Atlanta. I think that people have pushed this entrepreneurship narrative so
Yep.
hard on
100%.
Black people. And I'm
100%.
just like, do y'all not realize that people in corporate America are making some real money?
100%.
And it's like nowadays people, they want to get into this entrepreneurship, but they don't understand how much work goes into being an entrepreneur.
100%.
I am very comfortable being in my 9 to 5, you know?
100%. And
it's like, I think that if you want to get into entrepreneurship, have something to lean on. Do not just go full entrepreneurship and not have a job.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Insanity.
Yeah, that's
you
crazy.
know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I just had to say that because it was in the back of my mind when you said it. So that is a con being in a city like Atlanta. So I would say to anybody that's watching, don't get caught up in that hype. It's silly.
Yep. That's why I love what you're talking about with Taylar Talks TV. Like
Taylar Talks Tech.
Taylar Talks Tech. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
You already knew what it took to be an entrepreneur. Like you got that experience there. It's like, oh no, this
listen,
it's gonna take some money.
Like I got mentees, but honey, I still work my job. I still work because I'm still trying to build that out, you know? And it's like I'm figuring things out. I'm making mistakes as I go.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't really understand the idea of going full entrepreneurship without having a backup plan.
That's silly. That's complete silliness. Yeah. And I think to me, like you said, a lot of that is being pushed out community. And a lot of our community members are like pushing that. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. We don't have sort of the cushion that our white counterparts have.
Exactly.
You know, so we got to be realistic in terms of making certain decisions that not just affects us, but family members, you know, and then your future generations. So 100% with you on that.
Yeah. So, I had to say something. I was like, oh, because it bothers me so much. And it sucks because, you know, like I have a niece, you know, she's 14 and it's like, I don't want her to get caught up in that. Oh, you know, I'm going to get on social media and I'm going to, which is great. You know, I want her to do all of that too, but still have something to fall back on. And I feel like that's an issue with, I can go so deep with this. I was gonna say, I feel like that's an issue with like even athletes sometimes too. You know, everybody thinks they're going to go to the top and then something happens. Like go into a major or have something that you can fall back on just in case.
100%. Yeah. I've had a few athletes on the podcast. Shout out to Iggy. And then also to, oh my gosh, she's going to kill me. Annie. She's an Olympic athlete. There's so much pressure to kind of like go that one route. Yeah. But they also know like you have to have a backup.
You have to.
Yeah. And NFL, they're doing a really good job now. So shout out to football league. They're doing really good in terms of like setting up athletes to be able to look at like alternatives. Right. So for any of you who are in college, who are, you know, in even the pros now, or even in semi-pros, like if you're looking at different options, like consider tech as a different option. And especially if you have a background of like, you know, communications, things like that, sales could be.
And you do not necessarily have to have any type of prior experience getting into tech sales. I came from a communication background. Like just have some skills. They will teach you everything you need to know. They will teach you everything that you need to know. Yeah. So don't let that shy you away from anything too.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right. So let's talk about how big was Autodesk?
It was a pretty big company.
Okay.
Yeah. Autodesk was big. I don't think it was as big as IBM. But, you know.
So I was about to say, what was the transition like? Did you feel anything going from
Absolutely. I felt so much pressure. I felt pressure because it's like, obviously, you know, IBM is a old, respected company. So it's like, you know, even just saying, like, oh, I work for IBM, it comes with a certain sense of responsibility too. Yeah. And my manager played no games. Day one, it's like, we're on it. Yeah. And for me, it was like, okay, I need my first 30, 60 days. I get to get this product knowledge down because if I cannot explain this product, I cannot sell this product, right? Yeah. I mean, I tell anybody that, like, understand product knowledge. That's how you get your money in tech sales, right? Yeah. So yeah, it was a lot of pressure, not only from my managers, but I worked with a very good team. You know, the team that I was working, they're all like hidden numbers. You know, they're all performing well. So it was that too. And naturally, I'm kind of competitive as well. So it's like, I don't want to be the one that's falling behind. You know, look at this new girl. She can't keep up, right? So yeah, it was, people get fired too. I don't think people talk about that. Like performance plans are real. I have been on a performance plan before and it's hard to get off of. And it's so intimidating and so scary knowing that your job is on the line if you don't hit certain numbers within the next 30 days.
Yep. That's scary. Yeah.
That's scary, but it happens.
Yeah. So those things, you talking about PIPs, right? Yeah. So PIPs, performance improvement plans, like it's meant to help you to get better. But I've seen scenarios where it's literally like ways for them to filter you out the door. So if you are in a PIP plan right now, just make sure that you are doing your darndest to get off of that as soon as possible. Yeah. I had a quick sort of joke in regards to like IBM. Did you flip your hair when you
Did I? What? You couldn't tell me nothing. Because I already think I'm fly now. But I had IBM behind me, you couldn't tell me nothing at all. I really feel like I was that girl. I did. I 100% did.
That's awesome.
But you know, the good thing about IBM, and let's talk about, Black people, Africans. There are so many people in IBM in the Atlanta.
Yeah.
My manager was a Black woman.
Yeah.
Like that's what I loved so much. I never felt like I didn't see me when I went to work. I felt awesome. I seen more of me than I seen of them, So it's like, I love that the Atlanta hub here in IBM, they have so many opportunities for Black people to continuously grow. And they're so smart. And I think that's another intimidating thing as well. It's like, you go into a position like, oh, okay, I'm smart and all this, but these people are building robots. They're doing so much stuff and they look like me. Right. So it's like a sense of pride too. I'm proud to be here. Right.
Yeah. No, I love that. Yeah. I think, and this has been said many times before, like anytime you're the smartest in the room, you're probably in the wrong room.
100%.
Yeah. And I love being like, not necessarily the dumbest, I love being in a place where like, I don't know everything.
Right.
And I can learn from other individuals. And I always try to like find my way to kind of nest around that. I've been a principal engineer and all that other jazz, but at the end of the day, it's like, there's always room to grow.
Always.
And if you get complacent like that's a really dangerous place to be. Because I've seen a lot of principal engineers get laid off.
I have too.
Yeah, just because they haven't like sort of adapted to like the new technologies, a new way of doing things. And to me, like I've always wanted to be that person that always adds value. And it's like one of the toughest decisions you have to make in your life to, cut my contract.
Seriously. But I think that's with any position. I feel like a lot of people get caught up on titles, you know, like, oh, you're speaking to a principal architect or whoever, right? And it's like, here I am, I'm just a little SDR. You can learn, a principal architect can learn value from me too.
100%.
Just
100%.
how, don't let that change anything, right? So like when I was working at IBM, I think I really felt myself grow maybe like my second year in when it got to a point that my manager's manager was sending me out to conference. What was the conference that we went to? Oracle. It was an Oracle conference in Vegas, and they sent me out there by myself, and I had to speak on safeguarded copy, right? It was a software that we were selling, safeguarded copy. And I remember the sense of responsibility that I felt, but also the excitement that I felt too, right? I was the youngest, only Black girl there, and people were coming in from all over. IBM's huge. People were flying in from all over. But I spoke about safeguarded copy because they instilled that trust in me. But also it was because I put that work in. There was times when after I was getting off work, I was having one-on-one sessions with, shout out to Melanie, right? I think she was an account executive at the time, just teaching me safeguarded copy. Like, please teach this to me so I don't sound stupid while I'm up there for 30 seconds talking about it, right? So it's like, putting yourself in uncomfortable positions grows you.
100%. Yeah. And then I think being willing to look dumb. I think a lot of times, at least with the engineers I work with, the ones that have been successful, ones that look like me and don't look like me are the ones that ask questions. Like there's so many times where I've seen people like sort of be stagnated in their role and their ability to grow because they're so scared of like, being the dumb one. And I think that affects a lot of us, in the community where we come in with these credentials. So we feel like as if we have to meet all the expectations. Right. That's not realistic.
No, it's not.
Yeah. And you got to be okay with not knowing certain things and asking those questions. I'll ask a question real quick.
Me too. I always, I Slack teams all day. I'll ask something all the time. But I don't know why this is coming to my mind while I'm talking to you about this, but I think sometimes our community, we hold ourselves back too, because it's like we want to lean on each other. But I had this conversation with a friend and he was telling me, sometimes it's not bad to have a mentor, somebody that doesn't look like you.
Oh, 100%.
Because they can teach you a lot too.
100%.
They can put you in rooms that you haven't been in as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So it's like, I also think that it's important to, show up and have that visibility and lean on your community, but also don't shy away from those that do not look like you, because you'd be surprised of what you learn. Seriously.
100%.
So
100%.
I don't know. It was just on my heart to tell you that.
No, I love it. I love that. Yeah. Shout out to Mike Bentley. He's given me close to $800,000 worth of contracts.
Woo! Shout out to that
Mike
man. Shout out to him.
Doesn't look like me. White guy, spunkable. Go check them out. And all the work that he's given me. honestly, like he's helped me through the contracts.
100%.
He's helped me build out like my company. He's helped me kind of scale out, and he's the one that's kind of shown me how to grow and be a good splunker and be a good engineer. And also when it comes to staffing, he's one that's helped me in that realm as well.
Right.
Doesn't look like me, goofy white guy.
Yep.
Mike, no shade, but he's coolest dude ever.
Yeah.
And not just Mike, AJ, I talked about him on the podcast before, makes over $200 million a year, every year in Doral. Awesome guy. Helped me kind of learn like business wise. He'll hire me for like different things. There's a lot of different opportunities out there by meeting people that you don't necessarily
look like,
but also like you may not necessarily expect to have sort of like relationships with and kind of build. It's really important to diversify like your friend group.
It is. It's very important.
Yeah. All right. So IBM, you're there. The challenges, or
the biggest challenges, it was just, being taken. I'm not gonna say being taken serious. It's just, I wanted to make sure that I did good.
Okay.
I just wanted to do well. I wanted to do well. I wanted to make my manager happy. I wanted to make myself happy. So that was the biggest challenge for myself. Yeah.
Awesome. When it comes to like navigating between, I guess, I'm not saying you did this, but people pleasing or manager pleasing versus like doing what you need to do to be able to grow, how did you manage that?
Yeah, let's talk about micromanagement.
Okay.
I hate when people micromanage me, but you know what? I also feel like sometimes it's needed. You know? Because I'm not going to sit here and act like I've always been like the perfect sales rep, right? There's times I kind of need somebody to watch what I'm doing or, direct me in what I'm doing because I might be spending too much time on one thing when I should be spending time on another thing, right? But I do think that when you or if you're fortunate enough to work for a company where they trust you up front to just do your job, hit your numbers, do it. Do it. Because not every company is like that. I was fortunate enough when I was at IBM, I didn't have a micromanager. Shout out to Yafiel Jackson. I did not have a micromanager at all. She was like, look, y'all, this is what you need to do. You know what my expectations of you. Get it done. Get it done. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Have you been in a managerial role yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Coming soon.
Do you want to get in that role?
You know what? Honestly, people always ask me that. They're like, where do you want to go with this? I think because I feel like I understand the BDR, SDR, role so much. I would love to be in a position where it's like I'm managing them, because I think that until you've experienced that role, there's certain things that come with it that maybe can't be taught by your manager, right? And I think that a lot of that comes with experience. So maybe a BDR manager or something like that, or maybe who knows? I also, something that I'm planning on learning this year is how to code. So
I am.
I really am. I'm trying to learn how to code because have you ever used don't ask me them questions on camera. I don't know. Listen, have you ever used, what is it called? Somebody was telling me about this. Claude?
Claude.
Yeah. People are saying like you can build out something like it looks like 8 engineers did it, you know? So I'm trying to learn that. They told me to start with my friends that, currently know how to code. They told me to start learning like front end, back end.
Okay.
Or like Python.
Yeah, so it depends on what you want to do with it. And I would say understanding the company you're at currently, what their tech stack is, and understanding like how they build whatever solution it is. So what language is written in. So whether it's JavaScript, Python, Go, whatever language is, understand that first, and then try to replicate that. Because to me, it's a lot easier when you have something that you can kind of like, at least for me, do an eye to eye on. So when I'm building a solution, I like to see, okay, this is how it's supposed to look, and I can mirror that.
Right.
And it helps me to actually have like a baseline to kind of go to. So that's how I started like learning the code. Okay. I only know 2 languages, Python and Bash, but that's for those who are trying to learn all the languages, there's no need. Like a lot of it is very similar, but just pick a niche and then really focus on that, and then do projects.
I think I'll start off with Python.
Python is a really good baseline.
I heard that you can get like free classes, but I do know that Harvard, they have a class.
CS50.
Like, I was thinking about doing that. So that's something that I'm trying to learn too. So maybe if I don't get into like a management position, maybe literally a whole different type of title. Like who knows?
100% for it. Harvard has a CS50. I think I've talked about this on the pod before, where it's
like
free.
Is it free?
It's free. Yeah,
no, it's not free
on YouTube. No, on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, on YouTube it's free. Yeah.
Okay.
So now I don't know the new like sort of like renditions that they've uploaded or that they're teaching now, but when I started learning how to code, like it was literally just watching Scratch via their YouTube channel, and they have other free certificates that you can actually take as well. But outside of that, like if you want to learn how to code in general, Mosher on YouTube, he has I think he trains on JavaScript, Python. I don't know if he does Go. There's a few other languages, but there's a lot of free resources on YouTube that teach quality code just as well as you learn at at Harvard and any of these other schools, because a lot of these guys have been to these schools
exactly,
and they're offering these things for free.
Right.
So
I feel like I was coding as a child on MySpace. I was putting together
things
I was coding early. But
no, that's awesome. Okay, so what I guess was the most difficult like challenge for you at IBM?
I think the most difficult thing was learning. So let me start with what I did, right?
Okay.
So when I was at IBM, I was selling storage and sustainability,
okay,
right? So I was selling things that didn't make sense, you know? But it's like, so this is how our quota and our numbers were set up. We were commissioned on a quarterly basis. So I didn't see a commission except for every 3 months, right? And I had to get a revenue of $1.7 million per quarter.
Okay.
Sounds crazy, but IBM's products are expensive. So it's like a license, a renewal license could be $20,000, right?
Gotcha.
And that's easy, On the other side, you could be selling a product that's $250,000, $500,000, right? So it's like the numbers, they sound insane, but when you do the math on some of the products that we're selling, it's attainable, right?
Makes sense.
So I think that was probably the most intimidating thing too, because when you hear $1.7 million, you're like, oh my gosh,
exactly.
How am I going to do this?
Yeah.
But I think that, and then just like really understanding the product. Now, I mentioned it before. I worked with a team of really smart people, and people that are still there. I still follow them on LinkedIn, and I see where they are now when we were both in the same role then. And it's like, again, working with IBM, it comes with a certain level of responsibility because they expect for you to understand and learn and know your job, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So
no, that's awesome.
That was the biggest intimidating factor for me.
Okay. What year were you at IBM?
Don't get me to line. When did I start working with IBM? I felt like I had to work on my I think 2022.
Okay.
I started in 2022.
Did you use AI while you were there?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
And that's crazy too, because it's like we use, I don't want to put my business, but we use AI so much, now with the company that I'm currently working for. And it's just like, when I was at IBM, we were not using these tools at all. So like, even with, like Outreach or like a HubSpot, and when you're sending emails and, we had like our email templates and things. Now it's so easy to go onto ChatGPT and be like, hey, this is the name of the company, find some current events or things that they're doing, and let's make a personalized email for them. Seconds, right? Versus we're really in the field. Like I'm using Zoom Info and LinkedIn Sales Navigator, really trying to like prospect, because that's my job. My job is to prospect and find these qualified leads. But also it's like when you're speaking to decision makers, and at the time IBM, my main decision makers were controllers or like people that are high up in these levels, VPs, director of IT. They don't really have a lot of time when you're on the phone. So it's like you kind of want to get straight to the point, and you want to know your stuff, right? You want to know what you're talking about, and that comes with research. Spending the time doing the work. I
think I don't know who put this. I think it was Brixon Ross. He put this up recently. I think I shared it on the story. Like tech influencers and like these boot campers that are sort of popping up everywhere.
Shade.
I'm not saying shade. I'm just saying like folks that don't really talk about like the grind, like how much work it takes.
And that's the thing. So listen, no shade to the people that are doing it, but it's like, it's hard for me to respect those type of people that aren't still currently working those jobs, because
1,000%.
Listen, okay. It was like, it's hard to respect it because it's like outside of the tools, outside of those things, like it's other skills that you need as well. It's a grind. So I never lie to people and be like, oh yeah, tech sales is easy. No, it's not. It could be easy to get into, but once you're in there, how are you going to stay there? It's 100%. Not easy because one, we're performance based. It's a performance based job. So it's like, if you're not hitting your numbers, you're ultimately one day going to get fired. Right. But also on top of that, it's fast paced too. It's a fast paced position. You're working with people that you're speaking like with directors and all these things. It's a grind.
Right.
Like I have to literally put in time blocks with my day, like from 9 a.m. to 9:30. I know I'm probably gonna have a team meeting. From 9:30 to maybe noon, I'm going to do so much heavy prospecting. From noon to 2 o'clock, I'm gonna be on Nooks. I'm going to be making dials. I'm gonna be making calls. Like you have to have a certain level of prioritization. Working in tech sales because it's a fast-paced job. It comes with a lot of responsibility, and I mean, you just don't want to fall behind.
100%. Yeah, because I've seen a lot of like folks who've talked about this in terms of like tech sales, where they saying like it's easier than general engineering. I'm like, I don't know, because like you got to grind.
You do have to.
You got to grind every single day because you got to meet those numbers.
You
like
do.
As an engineer, it's like, bro, if my code works, I can repeat and rinse and recycle that stuff
and you know
over and over.
I'll say this too. The entry level position is kind of a grind too, because it's like, it's your job to make those relationships, to pass over these qualified leads over to your account executive. I'm not going to say being an AE is easy because it's not, but at least, you know, the initial conversation's already there. You know, the BDR or the SDR already did that work for you. Now you're in a meeting and it's like, we caught their interest for you, you know? So now all you got to do is talk about pricing, kill it on the demo, and get them to pay and move to the next steps. So it's like, I tell people that all the time, like, yeah, it could be easy getting into tech sales, but it's what you're going to do to stay there. Right?
100%. And I think that to me is where I think we got to be a little bit more real on. Like there's a lot of work when it comes to sustaining a role in tech.
100%.
Tech is always evolving, not just from the engineering side, from a sales standpoint as well. Like there's different sort of like capabilities, modules, and things like that. If you're selling it, you got to know what the heck you're talking about.
You have to. I tell people that all the time. They be like, what's the most important thing? Product knowledge. Get the product knowledge down the first 30, 60, 90 days. Seriously.
Yeah, you literally can lose, because I've been on the opposite end where I've had sales engineers and sales rep trying to sell me and my team like stuff. I'm like, but you don't even understand like the nuances of like how your product works. Ain't no way I'm gonna buy that. You know?
At all. And then also this too, it comes with a certain level of skill. People go into sometimes like, because I've been on the opposite end of it too, where people try to sell me things. You don't even know if I need it. They're not asking questions. You have to be able to ask open-ended questions, find pain points. Even like, it's one thing, it's like, you know, maybe you know that they clicked on our website or something, or they showed a little bit of interest, but it's like, you have to make sure that it's even a need there. And that, again, that all comes to research. So it is a grind.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. One thing that really grinds me is the fact that people who work like a general 9 to 5, like they're literally, like you were saying, giving their last. Like people working at McDonald's, chauffeurs, CNAs, like their savings is what they're giving you to kind of, you know, level up and get to the next sort of like career path. And
people got kids, you know, it's a whole bunch of stuff like that. But it's like a lot of these tech influencers, and not all, not all. But a lot of tech influencers are robbing people because they're not providing that information. And sometimes these people are not results driven either. You know, it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, you know, I understand tech and have all this information, but it's like, have you helped change these people's lives? You know, and it's like, although $500 might not be a lot for you, or $1,000 or $2,500, it could be for the next person.
1,000.
And it's like, if you're not really sitting here like helping them get to the next step, or even like putting them in rooms or helping them build these relationships, like it's so messed up.
100%. You know?
It's just 100%. So messed up.
And not only that, I think in terms of like, it's one thing to actually like be knowledgeable. It's another thing to be able to teach. Like, just because you are skilled doesn't mean like you're a good teacher. And I think a lot of times people equate like, I know what I'm talking about versus like, I know how to deliver this in a way that somebody can digest and actually learn from and grow. And that to me is where it separates like the folks that I recommend versus the folks like, I'm just like, bro, no shade to you, or, you know, you know what you're talking about, but in terms of being able to deliver that, you're not good at that.
Exactly.
You know, you're not a good teacher.
Right.
That's a very important piece. Like somebody has to be able to learn from you, because eventually you're going to have to talk about this in an interview and talk about this to like CIOs, CEOs, CTOs and stuff like that. And if they can't deliver that, they're going to be getting cut real soon.
They are quickly. Right. And also, not everybody learns the same way. Some people are
1,000.
hands-on learners, you know, while other people, you know, maybe they like to sit back and take the notes and everything. So it's understanding who you're teaching too. But people don't take the time to do that. Everybody's so money driven, right? Everybody's
cookie
so
cutter.
You know, everybody's so money driven that they don't really care. So it's like, it's good to find somebody if you're going to invest, you know, in mentorship programs that actually cares. Right. I have a mentee right now. And I've had people like wanting to sign up for my mentee class, but I had to take a break on it because I was like, I want to dive and put so much into you. And it's like, I think when you find a mentee, don't look at like, you know, if they're popular, don't look at if they're, you know, just going viral, like look and see if they really care about the people that they're coaching and teaching. Right.
Yeah.
So.
No, I love that. I absolutely love that. I used to train, in Spunk. I used to train folks in Spunk. And I had a pretty good like rate. I think I had like a 35 to 40% ratio. And for those like, oh no, that's bad. No, that's actually pretty good.
No, that's really good. Right? No, that's really good.
For folks who got jobs. But the issue was like the amount of time I had to put in.
Yes.
And then also like it needs to be reciprocal. Like the person that's coming in, the mentee also has to put in that same amount of work.
100%.
And a lot of times, like, I would tell them up front, like, if you don't put in the amount of work that you need to, you're not going to get a job. But, and they would still not do that. And I still felt bad. Even though it wasn't my fault, I still felt bad. So I stepped back from that. But there's a lot of folks now, they don't care.
They do not care.
They do not give a damn at all.
So like, even when you sat here, like I'm the same way. I'm very transparent up front. Like, listen, these are my expectations of you, you know, and this is what your expectations of me should be. And if I don't deliver, let me know, you know, 100%. If you feel like you're not getting what you need out of me, let me know, because I'm still learning as well. And I think people are afraid. Everybody wants to call themselves an expert, but it's like, there's always space to grow. There's always room to like 100%. Continuously learn, right? I don't look at anybody differently because I'm in the position that they want to get in, because I can learn from you as well. But I always give my mentees homework. I'm like, listen, this is what I expect from you. When we come in, you know, next week or whatever, this is what should be done so we can move on to the next thing. Right. But I'm the same way. Like, listen, we have expectations. If you don't put in the work, you're not going to get the job. Thank you for this free money that you gave me because it's like, you're not going to get the job.
And I think to me, like the other part about that is when it comes to, I think growth, if you want to like learn and be like a subject matter expert on whatever field you're in, teach people.
Right.
Like if you can teach people like how to do stuff, especially people not in that lane, that shows that you've probably been able to master whatever craft it is that you're in.
100%.
And that's helped me grow so much.
100%.
Like I learned the most when I was teaching people. Like I think I taught for like 6-7 years. I learned the most, you know, just preparing for like the, you know, the deployments, setting up like the servers, certificates, things like that. Like those things I still retain just because like I taught it so much. It's repetitive. You know, it's like secondhand now.
No, so. 100%. I mean, same here. Like with my program, we're doing role plays. I'm teaching you the different tool stacks, because I tell people this all the time. You know, they're like, oh, Taylar, you know, I've never used a Salesforce or anything like that. It's like, my goal is not to make you an expert at Salesforce, you know, in a month. That's not going to happen at all. But I want you to be familiar with it, that you can speak on and be like, hey, I know this is where my accounts are being stored at. You know, I know with Outreach, this is my workflow. I understand with Nooks, this is my dialer, you know, things like that. And I think that, like you said, I've become a better salesperson because I'm able to teach others too. No, I love that. All right. So let's finish out with like what's happening with you currently. Okay. Let's talk about it. Okay. So I am currently still, you know, working my 9 to 5, right? But I have decided to open up a mentorship program, and it's called Taylar Talks Tech. Now, I do want to say this. Taylar Talks Tech is not just about getting mentees, right? That's an aspect of it. But what I'm doing is kind of like what you have going on, you and Queen. Shout out to Queen. Wish you were here. What you all have going on, because I think this is dope and I think it's cool too, just to have conversations with people that are in these different tech fields, right? And just get perspective on experience, right? So I have like a lane with that as well. So yeah, Taylar Talks Tech. I started it really like July of last year, and I took it, I'm not gonna say it was a joke, but I didn't take it seriously. I just want to see, you know, I was like, let me just see. But 2026, I made it a goal. I was like, okay, Taylar, you're going to go all in. You're going to go full throttle with this, and you're going to show up for yourself, right? No matter what it looks like, no matter where it goes. But I do have a mentorship program with that, where we meet for 4 weeks. We meet twice a week for an hour. Immediately, first thing, we're going over your resume. We're fixing that day one. We're going through LinkedIn. We're going through understanding tools. You know, we have an Excel shared file where it's like, all right, now that your LinkedIn and your resume's out, you know, while I'm teaching you stuff on the back end, you're going to be applying for jobs. You know, shout out to one of my mentees. She got an interview at Gartner. I was like, oh God. I was like, you know how they found her? LinkedIn. Nice. And I tell people that all the time, like, do not believe the lies. Like LinkedIn is a very good source, 100%. A very good, you know, way to put yourself out there. Right. And that's coming from somebody that does not have any type of background and technical experience at all. I think she's working in finance. Right. But her main reason for wanting to get into a position like this, she said she wants to spend more time with her kids. You know, she wants to have that flexibility. And again, back to how we were talking about, you know, some people, they're just really money driven. Taylar Talks Tech is not a money driven thing. For me, it's coming from the heart. And it's like, I really want to be able to take something that I learned and like give that information to somebody else. Right. Because it's like with you, you know, like even with you, when you got into the tech industry, I'm sure people ask you every day, like, oh, you know, how do I get in? How do I get in? What do I got to do? That's how it really started off. People would ask me on a day to day, like, how do I get into the tech sales? So I was like, I'm going to start Taylar Talks Tech. And I'm enjoying it.
That's awesome.
I'm learning so much. I'm learning stuff about myself. Like I'm growing with this. I love that. I love it. And no matter what it turns into, no matter where it goes, I just want to be a source for the next person.
And I will add to this as well, and I know you're not saying this, but there's nothing wrong with chasing the bag, whether through training or whatever it is. Like your services are worth getting paid for.
100%.
The fact that you have a heart to kind of like see these people grow, that's all we're asking of you if you're training and trying to become the sort of guru out there or influencer or whatever it is. Like at the end of the day, have a heart towards
be genuine.
People care about like their time and you should care about their time as well because their resources that they're putting into this could be their last and their all.
It could be their literal last, right? So when I started Taylar Talks Tech back in July, I was only charging people like $200, $250.
That's crazy. You know, that's crazy.
I know.
Girl, you know, it's crazy.
I was only charging $250 because at that point, it was less about the mentees coming in, was more about something I had to prove to myself. And when I was able to get somebody hired, that first one, when you get that first one, it's like, okay, if you can do it again, you can do it again, you can do it again. Proof of concept, right? So you know, I know people that are doing the same thing as me and they're, you know, doing whatever price that they're doing it at, right? But with me, I'm genuine, but I don't play, you know, because I take it very seriously. And I tell people that all the time.
It's
like,
your reputation.
It's my reputation. And I want, if anybody, you know, joins my mentee program, anybody follows me on Taylar Talks Tech, I want them to just see that I'm actually what I say I am. And I'm actually doing the work that I'm teaching you. Yeah.
No, I love that. This is no plug-in for me at all because I don't do this at all because I'm actually retiring from doing this. I've had 10 interns. 9 out of 10 interns have gotten jobs or job stacking and doing other things. Now we're making like 500 plus. But at the end of the day, it's like they put in the work.
Right.
The one person that still bothers me that didn't get a job, bro, you know who you are, my guy. You did not put in the work, my dude. But like to me, my reputation matters a lot.
100%.
And if you are selling stuff, your reputation has to matter a lot. You have to be willing to put in the work to be able to get to where you want to be, but also to a point where you want the other individual that's taking your course to succeed. Like that should really matter just as much as you know, getting your name out there and all that other jazz.
100%.
So
yeah. I think that's where my fulfillment comes from, seeing the next person succeed.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so what's we haven't talked about this personal side. How do you deal with like?
What do you mean?
How do you deal with the personal? Are you dating?
Child.
She's taking a big sip.
Taylar is single. I am not. I am not. But we can talk about it. We definitely can talk about it.
All right.
I'm single.
Okay.
I'm single. But I'm open. If something amazing comes along, then great. There's no ring on my finger right now, but I just feel like I give wife. It never gave like girlfriend. So please, husband, hurry up. Please hurry up.
Gotcha. That's awesome. Are you into tech bros?
You know what? I don't have any like negative type of, you know, I don't have a type. I'll
Okay.
say that.
Gotcha.
Just make sure you're doing something. Make sure you get some money now. Don't let me out hustle you, please. Make sure you have like a routine, right? And what a routine looks like for me is like Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I go to the gym at 7 a.m. I'm up early. Monday through Friday, I'm working. Every two days out the week, I'm teaching a mentees or something like that. Just have something going for you. Have goals and have like hobbies. I think people always want to do something. It has to have money attained to it. Like just have something that you enjoy just for the fulfillment of it, right?
Yeah.
Be a good person, right?
Yeah.
Just be a good person.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I am with it.
Okay.
Am I dating? Kind of. I feel like you're in my business. I feel like you're just like in my business. But yeah, kind of.
Okay. So I actually have a question on top of that, since you're a woman, you're a beautiful woman in tech. And as a salesperson, have your customers or potential clients ever
for me
crossed the line?
Mm-hmm. Oh, whoa. Yeah, I actually have experienced that.
Okay.
I have experienced that. Now, should I have taken it to HR? I could have, but it's just like, I'm just not in no position where I want to see a Black man get fired from his job. It never got to that point at all.
Yeah.
But like sometimes it's like, why are you sending me your number through Slack? It's like, why are you sending me your phone number through Slack? Or like, why are you asking me, finding my social medias and like from work? It was just a lot, it can just be a lot sometimes, but it hasn't gotten to like a point where I just felt crazy, and I just felt like I had to, but that's an experience. And that's just that's not just an experience with me. A lot of women have felt that.
Yeah. I was gonna say, how do you deal with that? Like, cause I think it's one thing, like, being a woman in tech is another thing, is like where you're trying to keep it professional, but you may have to deal with the opposite sex trying to take it down a lane you don't necessarily want to take it down.
I think with me, I'm very vocal, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I have this corporate side of Taylar, but I still am Taylar, and I'll just be like, we ain't doing that. Right. I'm like, we're not doing that right now. I think that I have that side, but not everybody has that. However, I think once I make it a point, like, hey, like, stop trying me.
Right.
They stop trying me.
Okay. No, that's good. That's good. Mm-hmm. I love that, because I think that's also like an unsaid type of thing where, especially if as a woman, you're more like, you have the reserved sort of like personality where you don't want to feel like you're being mean or whatever it is, but your rights and sort of like you're being infringed upon, and you have to be able to stand up for yourself. And like you said, tech is still a very much male dominated, especially white male dominated, sort of field. And how do you deal with that? And I'm not a woman. I'm not a Black woman. So I'm just always curious, like, how you guys deal with that. Because sometimes you also have to go to like corporate dinners.
Yeah. I was just at a corporate dinner in New York. Yeah.
Right.
I think another thing is too, you have to always be on your P's and Q's. Don't get too comfortable. You know, I know a lot of times there's been times when people, they go to these corporate dinners or they get flown out by the company and they get to wilding, getting too comfortable and forgetting like, hey, you're still like with your manager, or you're still like, keep it together at all times. And I also feel like as a Black woman, we almost have to do it a little bit more.
2X,
Yes. And we know that, it's been instilled in us since we was kids, right? So
okay.
Keep it together.
Yeah. No, I love that. So you're big into style.
A little bit.
Have you felt any sort of like pressure, like when it comes to like wearing certain things or not wearing certain things?
Because I don't always look like this. Like sometimes I'll go to work looking crazy. I'm so serious. Like, I'm not even lying. Like, I honestly feel like, especially like remotely, being remote too. So you can get comfortable at the house. Now, I'm not saying comfortable, I got my scarf on or anything like that comfortable, but it's just like,
you ain't got the bonnet.
I don't have the bonnet. I'm not that comfortable, but it's just like, I can get comfortable. So even, I had met with some new people. I work for a company and they're based out of London, right? So I got to meet some of those people, right? And it's like, they see me on Teams calls and stuff all the time. I'm looking okay. But it's like, they see me in person, they're like, oh. Like, oh, okay, Taylar. Yeah. So, it's just depending on the day. Depending on the day.
Okay. Have you flown internationally for like work before?
I have not yet. Hopefully they send us to the UK, but I have not yet.
Okay. We kind of hinted a bit on it outside of like, I think this was off script, but you're big into travel. Like, what do you do for like fun
Travel,
Okay.
travel, fine, dine with my friends,
Okay.
be cute, spend time with my family when I can.
Okay.
This sounds so basic, but like I said,
No, that's good. Yeah.
That's what I do though, because like, okay, last year I went to Cairo. That was my first time going to Egypt. It was a beautiful experience. And it's like, I don't take experiences
I literally was
lightly.
about to ask you, have you been to the continent?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like, I still feel like I need to go to like Johannesburg. I need to hit Senegal. Didn't you say you were Senegalese?
No, I'm Sierra Leone.
Okay, let me
not too far off. Not too far. No, not too far off though. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So there's so many places and so many things that I want to do places that I have not yet traveled.
Okay.
But I think growing up in a family that, we didn't grow up having passports and stuff like that. So it's like, it wasn't until I got into my adulthood, until I got older, until I got some money that I was able to actually experience the world. And that brings me joy.
That's
it
awesome.
does. That brings me real joy. So when I say travel, I mean, obviously like who doesn't want to travel, but when you're able to do it, do it.
That's awesome. Do you travel with family?
You know what? So what people don't know, I'm not going to say people don't know. I used to live in Italy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I lived in Italy in 2024 for like 6 months.
I think I was on your gram.
Yeah.
What's the name of the place?
Milan.
Oh, no. Okay. I thought it was a different city.
Well, I traveled around while I was based in Milan, but I went to like Florence, Positano, Amalfi Coast, Lake Como. Where else did I go? Did I say Florence already?
Okay.
I didn't go to Venice. I went to Rome.
Okay. Yeah, I went to Rome last year. Yeah, it was last year I went to Rome.
Yeah,
that was dope.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Rome was dope. Yeah, yeah.
So again, that's another advantage. Working remotely in tech, you can do that.
Yeah.
And my company, they don't care. They're just like, get your job done.
Okay.
Now the disadvantage of it, the time zones. Yeah. So it's like I might be working at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
What here in the States, it's like 9 a.m. So it's like I try to find something that makes sense for me and things like that. But there's so much luxury with it. So many things that you can do when you have that experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So your company currently allows you to work globally?
Yeah. Like they work globally. Like the company that I'm with now, like everybody is spread out everywhere.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So that's actually another advantage, like working not just in tech, but especially in tech sales, where at the end of the day, it's like, can you meet the client at the time they need to meet? Mm-hmm. And can you schedule it in a way where you're going to be ready, prompt, and all that? Mm-hmm. So I love that. So yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so what's next for you?
What is next? My whole entire 2026 is going to be tied around discipline.
Okay.
So discipline in Taylar Talks Tech, discipline in being in the gym, discipline of doing everything that I said I'm going to do, right? I told you, and I keep saying it, visibility, putting myself out there, even when it's scary, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I come across as a confident person, but like, I get nervous too. Even before I came here, I was a little nervous. I was late. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I do. So I want to challenge myself to maybe get on more panels, do more speaking engagements.
You should.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Like even going to like these tech networking events. Would you believe I've never been to Afrotech?
Oh, no.
I've never been to Afrotech.
I haven't either. Africans in Tech has never been to Afrotech. This year we're going.
We're fraud.
Yeah,
like,
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys.
Like,
we're going to go this year.
We're going to Afrotech for sure.
Yeah.
But also just shaking hands with a lot of people, putting myself out there. And yeah, that's kind of where I don't really like to put too much on myself. I divide my goals by quarter. Okay. I'm just a salesperson. Yeah. I divide my goals by quarter. So by the end of Q1, I really just want to show up for myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How do you keep work-life balance, like mental? Because I know you say
gym.
Yeah. Okay.
The gym, I'm telling you, like the gym has really been changing my mental, right? Just because I had to find something that I could be disciplined in. That was my biggest thing. Yeah. Like, and I told you, like with Taylar Leigh TV, when I was interviewing people, had I stayed disciplined in it, who knows where I would have been? I was good at it.
Yeah.
I was really good at it.
Yeah.
I got discouraged because I didn't see any overnight success. And I think that's the issue. People want instant gratification, but that's not how it works. Even when, Africans in tech, I asked you how long y'all been doing this. It takes time.
100%.
Everything takes time. So I'm starting to like get out of my own head and just putting in the work and just brick by brick, brick by brick.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
When it comes to, I guess, Taylar Tech's talk.
Wrong. Taylar Talks Tech.
Did I say it wrong? Taylar Talks Tech? That's it? Okay.
He said Taylar Tech's talk.
Okay, my bad.
I know,
Taylar Talks Tech. What's like your end goal for that?
I want to grow my following.
Okay.
Right. I want to grow my following because as much as like I would sit here and lie and be like, oh, algorithms, all that, it does. You know, it kind of matters a little bit. So I do want to grow my following. I would love to partner with big corporations.
Okay.
Like, I'm just gonna put it out here. I would do like a Lockheed Martin, like a Boeing. Like I want to have my own event where Taylar Talks Tech is like on the backdrop of something. And it's like, you know, I'm in partnership with some of these big corporations. And I just don't believe that any dream is too big. Like, I feel like I can do a lot. You know, I feel like I can do a lot. And I think, again, it just all comes with discipline. So I would love to get on panels. I would love to have some partnerships with some really cool big companies. I want to exceed even more with the company that I'm with, you know? And I just want to keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Well, I would say from listening to your interview with Cyrus to kind of just talking with you now, I'm proud of you. Like you've done the work.
Thank you.
Keep doing it. Like I'm really proud of you. Like just keep trucking. I know it's entrepreneur out. It's tough.
It's hard.
But you're doing the work, so it matters a lot. So just keep going.
You.
Yeah.
That means a lot. Seriously, that means a lot.
Yeah. So you'll do well, and I'm hoping that there's gonna be a part 2 of this conversation.
It's definitely gonna be a part 2 of this. What? Can't wait to tell you how I made $3 million.
That's what I'm talking about.
I can't wait to tell you how I made this money. Seriously.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if people want to get in touch with you or find out how to connect with you,
so if you want to get in touch with my personal life, there's Taylar Leigh TV, and it's Taylar Taylar and then Leigh Leigh TV. And then Taylar Talks Tech, right? They're both linked. And if you're really into travel, we have Take Travels.
Okay.
So there's that too. You can see kind of like all aspects of my life. So yeah, that's how people can get in touch with me, or follow me on LinkedIn. Just don't DM me your number on LinkedIn, please. But yeah, follow me on LinkedIn, Taylar Smith.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So we'll have Taylar's information wherever you're watching this or listening to this. So we're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all the other things. We'll have our information wherever you're watching this. If you have any specific questions, hit us up at africansinTechnology@gmail.com. Again, it's africansinTechnology@gmail.com. My name is Sahr Lebbie. This is African Tech. We're building bridges and shaping futures in tech. All right, fam.